Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a clip from an Amare training call led by Kenley Brooke Mendoza, who's apparently a 1-star diamond, whatever that means. Now, if you've been around here for a while, you know I'm all about exposing MLMs for what they really are: manipulative, misleading, and often financially devastating. So let's break this down together. Before we dive into the video, hello, I'm DC, your friendly neighborhood MLM dropout, and I've been doing this, streaming and sometimes recording videos for 3 years, since 2022 April, when I got out, basically because of the live chat. Other anti-MLM creators, they helped me escape, essentially, from Young Living. And before that, I was in Mary Kay Cosmetics, which is laughable because I don't really wear makeup anymore, but that's neither here nor there. I'm excited to be here, and whether you're in MLM, whether you've gotten out, or whether you're thinking about getting out, grab a snack, grab something delicious to drink, and don't forget to take your meds, and let's get started.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Silver and Above call. We have these every single Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you are a Silver and Above, definitely make sure that you prioritize this call. Make sure that this is scheduled in your calendar with the Zoom link attached, and treat this business professionally, right? Because when you treat it professionally, that's when it will pay you professionally in time, through consistency, etc., etc. For those of you guys who don't
Really? I hate to stop it all right at the beginning, but let's start here. They love to make this sound like a real business, but just calling it a business doesn't make it one. You don't get paid a salary. You don't own anything. The only way you make money is by recruiting people or convincing them to buy overpriced products. This isn't a business. It's sales with no safety net. I was in Mary Kay, I was in Young Living, and a lot of y'all were in MLM, or maybe you've been looking around the internet at anti-MLM, or maybe you've been thinking about joining MLM, and someone's told you, oh, you just need to sell. I live stream a lot, and we do a lot of members only streams, and the live chat and I were looking at a bomb party rep earlier, and this specific bomb party rep bought $30,000 in jewelry and was only allowed to sell it for $39,000. So there was a $9,000 gap that they only could sell. And no business owner would ever take that margin. If they could only sell it for $9,000 and they had to pay $30,000, that would be wild. That would be wild. And MLMs do that to reps all the time because they control what the independent contractors are allowed to sell their products for. And a lot of reps, if not all reps, know right from the beginning that they can't make actual money by selling the products. They have to recruit. So what Kenley said there, wrong, in my opinion.
I'm Kenley Mendoza. I'm a 1-star diamond here at Amare, and we are going to talk about one of my absolute favorite topics in this business, one of my favorite things to do. And that is, a lot of you guys already guessed it in the chat, launching new business partners. This is such a crucial step for every single new partner, that we make sure that they are launched properly and launched efficiently. And I think a lot of people overthink this. If you feel like you're one of those that overthink launching a new partner, drop a 1 in the chat. And it's okay to be open and honest and vulnerable. Here's my 1, because I definitely used to overthink this. And why I think people overthink this is because they think that every single launch call needs to look the same. And the reality is there's definitely structure pieces of it, and there's topics of conversation that we want to make sure are done and had on launch calls. However, maybe that's why they're a little bit intimidating, and why people overthink them is because they're not all the same. They're not, you don't bring up a slide deck. You don't follow a list of bullets or anything like that. Every single launch call is Very, very, very different. For those of you, I want you guys to drop in the chat, what do you think the purpose of a launch call is? If you could just
I don't know.
share it like in one simple sentence or just in a few words. What is the purpose of a launch call? I'm going to check the chat. Where is the chat? There it is.
Oh my God.
Oh, I lost it. Okay. So to get to know the person and what they want out of the business, to learn about their why, their goals, what they want, connection. I love the word connection that Erica used. All of you guys.
Sorry. Let me just save us from our ears bleeding. I'm going to speed this up a smidge.
I feel the need for speed.
You're correct. I mean, all of these things need to be done on a launch call. And get to know one another and set the tone for them. I love how Maria capitalized them. That's true. You know, I used to be in this state of mind as I was years ago, developing myself into a leader, that a launch call was all about just action, like, let's go, right? But here's the deal, is that's going to maybe get a few people excited, but it's going to discourage most, right? Because we need to figure out, like, what does Shanna want? What does Charmaine want out of this business? What does Jules want? Like, what is happening right now in Mallory's life to where, you know, she would feel called to really give this business her all? What's happening with Kelsey right now? Is she feeling a sense of overwhelm as a stay-at-home mom? You know, a little bit of like overstimulation. What does she want out of this business? So the purpose of a launch call really is first and foremost connecting with that.
What do you mean? What do people want out of a business? To make money? People who opened Target want to make money. People who opened Walmart want to make money. People who opened any store anywhere want to make money. People who opened a small business want to make money. People who open a shop on Etsy want to make money. What are you talking about? Oh, what are people's goals in multi-level marketing? To make money? I don't understand. Are you saying what's going to keep them tied in when they're not making money? Because a huge number of people don't make any money, lose money, or go into debt in multi-level marketing because of the way of how the money flows is broken. The shape of how the money flows is broken. The company wins and the reps lose, except for the person right at the top, which is Kenley, who is in Kayani and now is in Amare. If you want to see my run-in with Kenley Brooke Mendoza, you can go to the description and see the 2 videos with the email she sent me saying that I needed to try her products, and the first video, which she ended up seeing as well. And I hope she has stopped driving and storing at the same time.
And just figuring out why they're here, right? But I want to take a few steps back really quickly, and I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. I'm going to take a few steps back and take a sip of water. Before a launch call, system and duplication is what's most important, okay? And what I mean by that is something as simple as when a brand new partner gets started, we want to make sure that we create a launch chat for them, right? Like I always say that if I'm going to sponsor a brand new partner, if I know that in the first few minutes upon them getting started, that I don't have the time to create a launch chat and welcome them to the team on, you know, a team Facebook group or a team chat or all of the above, I'm going to wait to actually sign them up. Because I want to make certain that the moment that they're started, they are welcomed and they feel that sense of community,
love bombing,
love and support right out the gate. Because if there's this awkwardness of like a 24-hour gap or even several hours of a gap to where they got started and they invested, whether it was just something as simple as a happy juice or whether it was a $5.99 pack of one of the higher packs, $800, let's say.
Apparently I'm wrong. We're recording this in members only, and members have told me, nope, she still talks in her stories while driving. Love that for us.
They invested this money and they put their trust in you. And it's been like 6 hours. And that's it. They signed up, they got started, but nothing else has happened. What do you think is going through their head? Oh, shit. Like I just spent $600. I just spent $150, $160 on this happy juice. I don't even know if it's going to work for me. Hey, Amari, I'm not quite sure what I got myself into, but hopefully you haven't shipped out my product yet. If you could just cancel, that'd be great. Right? So they're already like getting their head in this space of, what is it called? Like a buyer's remorse or this sense of like regret or a lack of belonging. Like we want our new partners to know that they're loved, they belong, and that they're supported. And that's why it's so important that we get these partners in a launch chat immediately. So if you ever hear from any of us in your launch chats, like, hey, you sponsored this person yesterday, I haven't seen a launch chat yet, what's going on? Please know that that doesn't come from a sense of dictatorship or control or anything like that. We want to make sure that you don't lose this partner, because I don't know about you guys, but it's happened to me. They lose excitement. They freak themselves out. They start overthinking and getting in their own head, and then they gone. Okay. So that time period is really sensitive. So, but once we get them in a launch chat and they go through the onboarding and launch section of the Linktree or whatever team system that you have,
Love bombing.
then we get on a launch call. And for those of you guys a part of Shanna's team, she calls them a discovery call, which I love the word discovery call. Like, we are discovering like what they want out of this business, right? So whether it's a launch call, a discovery call, it's all the same old thing. Okay. And the conversation in the beginning, it usually starts with like, hey, how's the weather over there? Like, we spent a few seconds just being normal people, like, oh my gosh, like, this has been my day so far. How's your day been? And it's okay to like shoot the shit out the gate and just create some laughter, right? And just create some sense of like normality in the beginning of the call. Like, we don't want to be like, all right, let's talk goals, right? Like, be a normal human being and have some fun. Okay. And then what I like to do is, first and foremost, the person that sponsored them on the launch call, each of you guys, I'm talking to you guys as if you are that third party. On a launch call, there is the new partner, the person that sponsored them, and you. Okay. 3 people. Now, if you are still learning, there might be another leader on there to kind of fill in the gaps, right? But 3 people on a launch call at minimum, no more than 4. No more than 4, you guys. There's definitely such thing as overcrowding, okay? Because
this happened to me when I was getting sucked into Mary Kay. This didn't happen to me in Young Living. It was just me and the person I was working for as a graphic designer. But this for sure happened to me in Mary Kay. I got the upline and her upline, her director, and it was wild. But the whole find out what their goals are, love bomb them, it is a form of control. Her saying it isn't a form of dictatorship and control. Bullshit. This is one of the oldest MLM tricks. They want to hear your personal story so they can use it later. And if you say you're tired, stressed, or broke, they'll say, that's why you need to work harder at this business. It's not about helping you. It's about hooking you emotionally so you won't leave. We've all heard that before. If you haven't heard that yet, just wait. Just wait a little bit longer in MLM because you're going to hear it.
Sometimes launch calls can be an incredibly vulnerable call for the new partner because we're asking them why they got started. Like, what called you here to Amare? And so
it's weird that the emotional connection has to fill in any of the gaps that people think about for the products. And I'm always confused. Shouldn't people just want to buy the products because the products are incredible? Like, shouldn't I just want to buy sweet tea because I like sweet tea? Or shouldn't I just want to buy a hairbrush because I like the hairbrush? Or shouldn't I'm kind of scared of candles because of Young Living, but hypothetically, shouldn't I just want to buy a candle because I like a candle? Or shouldn't I just want to buy an eye mask because I like this eye mask? I shouldn't say, oh, I like half of the eye mask, but I like the 50% more of the eye mask because, I don't know, I have a really good connection with my sister, so I'm going to buy the eye mask. But when the eye mask comes, if my sister doesn't come and really get excited for the eye mask, then I'm going to keep the eye mask. Do you know what I'm saying? I should want to keep the eye mask or even buy the eye mask for the eye mask, not because of somebody else filling the gaps of the problems with the eye mask because I have a good relationship with that person. What? What is happening? She said that you have to create a launch chat immediately, and translation, keep people excited before they start having second thoughts. They don't want you thinking about the fact that you just dropped $600 on something called Happy Juice. They want you added to a group chat, hyped up and surrounded by people who say things like, You've got this. It's not support, it's damage control. Kenley also said if there's a gap, they'll get buyer's remorse. And I guess I agree with her, because are the Amare products that good? I don't really know. Kenley offered to send me some because obviously I needed them, and you can see in the video that's linked below. But I guess exactly, people regret signing up because deep down something feels off. Instead of saying take your time, their answer is flood them with messages and positivity to keep them from backing out. That's not normal. That's pressure wrapped in fake support. Be a normal person, Kenley. Shoot the
I swear like I want to, Rachel, and you ain't gonna tell me to not.
You're literally teaching them how to act casual before diving into the business pitch. Cool. Except not. This isn't about real connection. It's about getting your guard down so you'll feel safe enough to open up, and then they use that to recruit you. It's fake friendship with a goal, and it's really shitty when you realize that somebody didn't really want to connect with you. They just wanted your credit card, and they were looking for someone with a pulse.
Sometimes it brings emotion. Sometimes it brings tears. Sometimes it brings a lot of discomfort for them to maybe for the first time ever, like vocally share what has happened to them over the last couple years as to why they need these products and why they're excited for Happy Juice to, arrive at their doorstep. And I promise you, they're probably going to share more on a call with less people when it's more intimate versus if you have every single upline in your chain on this call. So not everybody needs to be on, right? So new partner, the sponsor, and you. If you are not quite there yet, one more leader to help fill in the gaps. If that makes sense, you guys drop a 5 in the chat if you're with me on that. And one thing I do want to say before we kind of go through the steps, kind of have an order to it, but also don't necessarily have an order to it. Is every single one of you on this call right now have full capability to do your own launch call with a partner on your team. Now, if you personally sponsor someone, I would still encourage you, even though you have all the capability in the world to launch your own partners, I would still encourage you to have a third party on there because a third party is always very powerful. However, some of you guys, like a Kelsey Lewis, like a Karina, like a Kelly Wolf, Jordan Roberts, some of you guys, Shanna Hunter are launching your own personal partners because you have that experience, you have that credibility, if you will, in Amare, and you don't necessarily always need that third party, but it's still a really unique thing and powerful thing to add in if the time works out. Okay. So I just want to empower you guys, and I want each of you guys to know that if you got to silver, y'all, you have all the capability in the world to do your own launch calls for new partners on your team. You absolutely do. Do not think that you are not capable because you are here as a silver and above. You absolutely can help somebody get to where you are right now, okay?
You don't have to be a top earner to lead a launch call. Of course not, because in MLMs, recruiting more people is the goal. They need new people to bring in more people fast. It doesn't matter if you know what you're doing. Just keep the system going. Of course. Who's going to ask questions? I mean, no one on her team is. It's just going to make them feel empowered, right?
A brand builder on this call. You can launch a new business partner because if you can get there, you can help someone else to get there. And a launch call, you just have to be a normal human being. You don't have to be like a 6 and 7 figure earner. You don't have to be the best freaking network marketer on the planet. You just have to understand how to communicate and how to connect and how to listen, okay, before you speak. Andre Solé says, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to make sure that we are listening more than we are speaking. And I am guilty of talking more and not listening as much as I should, even today, because I'm human and I'm still learning and I'm still growing. But connection is the most important part of a launch call, okay? So we're on the launch call, right? The sponsor of the new partner is the one to open up the call. They should be the first one to speak. The third party leader, you guys, us, each of us individually, we're the ones that talk and do the most. However, if we're the first ones to speak to this new partner that's on the call, there's no edification, there's no trust. It's like, who is this random leader that is just talking to me, right? There needs to be some type of an introduction. So we want to make sure that, when we're helping a partner, do these launch calls, that we're side chatting in that sponsor's launch chat and saying, hey, I just want to make sure that you know that you will be the one to open up this call. There has to be an introduction. There's got to be an edification piece. And then once you pass to me, I'll do most of the launch call. Okay, so that sponsor is the one that opens up the call. And it's
You have to edify the upper tier person. I'm supposed to talk to the person, and then I have to edify the upline so that the individual that I'm trying to recruit trusts the more powerful individual. Fuck that. Wow. What emotional control. Oh my God. Emotional control, information control, thought control. Wow. Ew. Gross, gross, gross. They do that in Mary Kay. Mary Kay is the worst at that. I mean, they're the best at that, but they're the worst. You know what I mean? Twisty, twisty, twisty.
basically like how, that sponsor is basically sharing like, hey, Miss Karina, I'm so excited that you're taking the time to help, launch Tia. I'm really excited about her. We actually go way back to middle. I'm just making stuff up here. We go way back to middle school, and, she saw me like mixing up my happy juice just last week on my stories. And she's at a place in her life to where she just wants to focus on her mental health. And she took advantage of a free upgrade. And so we're here, but we've, known each other for quite some time, and she has a lot of really great goals here. So Tia, this is Miss Karina. She's out of Canada. She is a multiple six-figure earner here in the industry. She's actually an absolute legend. She knows exactly how to take someone from just no experience to a lot of success here. And I'm just super grateful for her time. So she's going to kind of take you through the motions here, and I'm going to take a back seat, and I'll be here to help support. So Tia, meet Karina. Karina, meet Tia. Karina, I'll let you take it away. Thank you again so much. So there just has to be some type of introduction, okay? It doesn't have to be by a book, doesn't have to be scripted, doesn't have to be super fancy. There just has to be an introduction. Because if there's no introduction, hey, Tia, this is Karina. Karina, this is Tia. Was that not just incredibly awkward, even for you guys? Like, okay, what's happening next? Because then Karina's like, well, hello, Tia. I'm a badass out of Canada. I've made multiple six figures here. And I'm just, pretty awesome. Karina's like stuck in this space of having to edify herself, right? Ooh. Some of you guys might be thinking like, oh, I don't need to be edified though. Like little old me. No, you do. You absolutely do, because it's this game, I guess, if you will. Well, nothing here is a game, but it's this piece of the puzzle that needs to be there in order for that trust to be just a full circle moment. Okay. And the trust is so important. All right. Because your new this sponsor's new partner is there because of the sponsor. So now that connection's already made. So we need to make sure that the other connection is made. All right. Now, once it's eventually passed to you, that's when I like to say, as kind of the leader on a launch call doing the majority of the work, I like to basically say like, well, it's so great to connect with you. And the first thing that we need to do as leaders, this is when you guys want to start taking notes so that you can lead your own launch calls and then be, a success, is you need to edify that partner back. You need to lift them up. You have to edify them back.
What?
Like, man, I'm so excited that we're here. Wait, who should I use as an example? I'm going to use, let's say, Tia was a new partner here. And Karina, I'm passing it. Hold on. Now I'm overthinking this. Let's say that
Tia.
Shanna is brand spanking new. And let's say Kelly Wolf sponsored Shanna. Okay. Kelly just introduced us all in the call, passed it to me. Kelly's fired up. Listen, I would be fired up if I sponsored a Shanna too. Oh, wait, I did. Okay. Anyway, excuse me. So Kelly sponsored Shanna. Kelly made the introduction to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, I'm going to say, Shanna, I am seriously so excited for you. I've heard some incredible things about you. But man, first of all, I just want to give it back to Kelly. You truly could not have partnered with somebody better. She's just got a heart of gold. She is super funny. And I just love surrounding myself with people that not only have just a big heart for helping people, but they can also make you laugh. But she is just turning into one of the most phenomenal leaders in this space. And she cares for people. And that's why she is where she is today. So I just want you to know, because she wouldn't say it herself, you could not have partnered up with someone better. So Shanna, right? So just kick it back to that sponsor. That way that new partner is like, well, dang, oh. And we want to make sure that sponsor feels uplifted as well. So if you guys are still with me, drop a 5 in the chat. This is making sense. But now I've got to get to know that new partner a little bit. Like there was a brief introduction, but I want to be like, hey, Kelsey, so I know that you've only been here for a few days here. I'm super excited that you're here. Welcome to the team, by the way. And maybe if that introduction wasn't made, I might say, hey, Kelsey, why don't you just let me know really quickly, like, how did you and Misty even connect? Like, how did this even come about? How are we even here? Where are we? Why are we here?
What brought them here? What made them join? I don't know why I said it like that. I'm streaming here from Texas. Leave me alone. Oh, wait. Just kidding. We'll just let her talk a little bit more. I don't even want to. I'll just let her talk some more.
Right? So how did you and Misty connect? And then, Kelsey might be like, oh yeah, we played volleyball together. Back in the day, back in high school, we did volleyball together, which they actually both played volleyball. So that's kind of funny. But we played volleyball together back in the day, blah, blah, and be like, oh, that's awesome. I played volleyball too, A team in middle school, baby. It's been years though, right? So you can have like a normal conversation before getting into the nitty gritty. Okay. This is where, launch calls are not structured. There's really no like bullet points. There's no like A to Z on a launch call. Just be a normal human being, care about them, get to know them a little bit, and then we can dive into what they want here. Awesome, Kelsey. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I guess like what drew you to Amare? So here we are. I know you haven't received your happy juice yet, but what got you excited to partner up with Misty? And so now, Kelsey might share something like, oh, I just saw her mixing up her happy juice on her stories, which I feel like is how the majority of people start. I saw, such and such like drinking happy juice and XYZ. And I just wanted to, all the benefits that she shared. I want to feel those things because I need it. And I might be like, well, hey, if you don't mind me asking, feel free not to share if you don't want to. That's completely fine, and I respect that. But if you don't mind sharing, like what's been going on to where you feel like happy juice would be beneficial for you. We want to try to dig a little bit deeper. Like we want to try, but we also want to be super disrespectful. We also want to be super respectful, okay? Because not everybody is going to be open. But I will say, if you make them laugh in the beginning,
interesting that you care about being respectful to people who are going to join Amare, but you don't give a shit
Your parents know that you swear like a sailor?
about people who are in anti-MLM who are just asking questions or even telling you that streaming while driving is dangerous to the people around you. I'm bitter about that. I'm still bitter about that, and that's fine. I'm still bitter about it. And I wasn't even an
Hey, scram.
in the videos. And I cried a little bit, and crying is regulatory. So, you know what? That's fine.
if you create just super casual, fun connection in the beginning before diving right in, what that does is that opens up their heart a little bit to you. And it creates that trust already. And that's like something that's really, really important to where if you're like, well, why are you here? Tell me the depths of your heart and soul. Then they'll be a little bit more open to sharing that. Okay. So she might then share like, I'm a first-time mom. I've got an almost 2-year-old. I'm super overstimulated at home. I just feel a sense of overwhelm. I feel overtouched all the time. Like,
What?
I just am at a place in my life to where like, I feel like I don't know, like I need to find myself again.
What?
And a lot of the times when our new partners share things like this, in come the tears, right?
What?
And maybe they share a little bit of emotion and they certainly don't have to. But a lot of the times that's what
Emotions are information. They're signposts for core values. Emotions don't need to be suppressed. Amare happy juice. Oh my God. Crying is regulatory. Their anger is healthy. Suppressed anger is unhealthy. Fear can be healthy. It can be information that can be healthy for you. Oh my God. Kenley, oh my God.
comes out of it. And I don't know how this is going to come across, but that's kind of what we want. Like we want that emotion because then we can take that into action. Okay. Hey, I'm so sorry that you've been dealing with all of that. I myself, I feel like we're all dealing with these mental health or these lack of mental wellness challenges. Like if they shared vulnerability with me, I'm going to share it right back. And I think that it's so important, you guys. I just did a launch call.
Oh my God. Using mental health to recruit people into your multi-level marketing company when you cannot make structure function claims about your supplement, and then you are using mental health to recruit people? Kenley.
Earlier today, and she was just sharing how she doesn't feel like herself anymore. She feel like she's lost herself in the midst of chaos, like ever since COVID, and kind of brought her to tears. And she was like, I've just let myself go. I'm just overweight when I've never been overweight before in my entire life. And these last, few years have just been a struggle and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, listen, I am so sorry that you've been dealing with all of that, but I want you to know that you're not alone. I might not have the same struggles that you do, but I absolutely have mental health struggles. For the last 6 years, 6 years, my husband and I have tried and tried and tried to expand and grow our family.
Oh
and
my
to
God.
gift our daughter to have, just that blessing of being a big sister. And we have failed month after month after month for the last 6 years. So whether it be what you're going through, what I'm going through, what everyone else is going through, we're all dealing with things. And that's why the mental wellness company and you being here is so vital, because you can help so many people, empower them, lift them up. If you're asking them to share their heart, share yours right back, right? We don't have to share with them like our story from A to Z, because really like this portion of the call should be maybe 7 minutes, maybe upwards of 10 minutes. We don't want to like cut them off of sharing their hearts. But it's important to create that connection with them and to create that trust with them, because then after that, it's like, well, all right, sister, are you ready to know what to do next in order to fulfill XYZ and get you out of that hole that you...
This is where it gets unbearingly uncomfortable. They're asking people to talk about really personal stuff, mental health, overwhelm, loneliness, infertility, all things. And once someone opens up, they use that story to say, let's turn that emotion into action. And that's not motivation, that's manipulation. And the fact that Kenley gets excited to use someone's trauma and pain and emotion to funnel them into a multi-level marketing pipeline of recruitment is twisty and, to me, disgusting. And I don't know what you think about that, but that's what I think about it here on my channel. Kenley also said sometimes people cry and that's kind of what we want. Let that sink in. She's saying that if someone cries on this launch call, that's a good thing, because now they can take that emotion and use it to push the business. And this is what I mean when I say MLMs target people who are vulnerable. They're not helping, they're using your pain. And again, disgusting and twisty and gross. Kenley's saying that her happy juice can impact your mental health, and you can't make those claims about a supplement. There's no evidence that says that happy juice can impact your mental health.
Been in. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Karina's here to help you every step of the way. I always like to include that sponsor. I like to bring their name back in. I like to say their name. I think it's so important. Like that brand new partner, like, hey, Mallory, we're in this together, sister. Like, we're going to do this together. There's just so much power in just saying their name, because it just makes them feel like they're included and like they're a part. And these are those little things that make such a big difference. And when you say we, not you, but when you say, hey, we're going to do this together. Like, I'm so excited to do this alongside you. But if you're ready to do what it takes, I'm ready to do it alongside you, right? And so then I go back and I'm like, well, hey, let's switch gears a little bit. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so happy we're able to connect and get to know each other a little bit more. So that connection period is over, right? Now we're moving into the call to action. Okay. So I like to bring up like, hey, so let's switch gears a little bit. Let's switch chapters. And I want to know, did you get a chance to go through that onboarding and launch section of the Linktree?
Oh.
And if they say yes, I'm like, cool. Did you have any questions from that? And a lot of the times they're like, no, pretty straightforward for the most part. Or sometimes they're like, no, I didn't get a chance to check it out. And then I'm like, cool. I would love for you to check that out ASAP, maybe tonight before you go to bed. That way
Here's the other side of it. They'll spend 10 minutes digging into your personal life, but when it's time to actually train you, they just say, watch the video, figure it out. That's not mentorship, that's lazy leadership.
you can kind of learn about what those next steps look like, because we want to get your people in front of the information. We want to, share Amare with the people that you know. And those steps are going to go over what that looks like. Does that sound good? Awesome, cool. And then honestly, I hop off. That's what I like to do, because if I explain that whole shebang, the onboarding, it's why we have the onboarding and launch section. So we don't have to spend that extra 20 minutes on a launch call going over it. So that's the call to action is cool. Let's hop off. I'm so happy we had the chance to connect. Go ahead and go through that onboarding and launch section tonight if you can, before you go to bed tonight. And then let's reconnect maybe tomorrow and go over what those next steps are going to look like. Sound good? And then I basically schedule a time like the following day or the next availability, and then we hop back on a call. You don't want to waste their time. And you also don't want to waste your time. Okay. These launch calls used to be before the Mayraki like link tree, before the onboarding and all of that, or your team's link tree. These launch calls could take up to an hour long because we're going over all the things that are now on the onboarding and launch section that they can go over themselves, right? So for me, launch calls are no longer than 20 to 30 minutes personally. What about you guys? For those of y'all who are launching new partners within your team, how long are your launch calls or discovery calls, if that's what you call them? I'm curious to know how long. They can definitely get lengthy, especially if you're on a call with someone that you're like vibing with. Before you know it, you're like, oh man, it's been 50 minutes. That certainly happens. I don't put a timer on by any means, but you really don't need longer than 30 minutes for sure. And I'm glad we're all kind of on the same page for the most part. So that's good. Okay. So I'm like, let's switch gears a little bit. So if you've gone through the onboarding and launch section, awesome. Most of the time they go through that because that's their call to action and the welcome message, right? So they go through the launch and onboard and I'm like, cool, what questions do you have out of that? Awesome. So within that, you saw, us talk about a grand opening, which just to refresh your memory, a grand opening is basically a Zoom call just like this. However, you're inviting your closest friends and family and they're hearing about Amare for the first time, whether you think they'd be interested.
A grand opening Zoom so you can recruit your friends and family? Great. Another subtle pressure move. They say most people do this so you feel like you should too. Nobody wants to be the odd one out. This grand opening is just a recruiting call where you invite your friends and family and hope they don't feel weird afterward. Start with your warm market and get less and less and less and less warm until you try and hope that you find, some way to start recruiting a super ice cold market with, oh yeah, that hey girl message.
Interested in the products, or you think they'd be interested in the business, or maybe you think they'd just be interested in just the community aspect and kind of uplifting, just the people that they choose to serve. Whatever it is, it's your chance to invite people on an overview, okay? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, cool. So is this something that you want to move forward with? And before I get a response from them, what I like to do is say something like, is this something you'd like to move forward with? I will say usually 9 out of every 10 partners choose to go this route because this is the quickest way that you can get the information in front of people. Why do I say that? Because they're not going to want to be that one person that says no. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that indirect question. I will say most people, usually 9 out of every 10 people choose to go this route because that's really like the biggest and just the quickest way that you can get the information in front of people. So what are your thoughts on it? Because sometimes they're still like, I kind of want to take it slow, and that's fine. You guys, awesome. I totally respect that. Here's what we can do, right? And then we can kind of give them a plan based upon that. But if they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Most people choose to go this route. A lot of the times, like they're not going to want to be, they're going to want to be part of that most statistic, if you will. So that's kind of a little tip and trick for you guys. But if they're like, yeah, sure, I schedule their grand opening right there and then on the call. Cool. So let's go ahead and just kind of look at our schedules and let's get that scheduled over the next few days. What's maybe the next day and time frame that works best for you? Let's see what works. Now, sometimes, have you guys ever had that partner that was like, well, let me check with my friends and see like what day and time works for them? Have any of you guys ever heard that? I heard that today on a launch call and I'm like, no. There's no way that all 14 of us are going to agree to the same day and time. There's just no way. So what's most important is that me, you, and Kelly, that we can find a time that coordinates with just the 3 of us. And then we're going to send out those invites. And if it works for people, great. If it doesn't, we'll have a recording for them. Sound good? And so we get that scheduled and in the books. Okay. Jordan said, I'll see if my friends are interested before signing up. Oh, goodness. That's a whole nother thing, right? Well, let me see if all my friends are interested. And then maybe I'll think about signing up.
Wait. Let's schedule it now and don't wait for your friends to agree. She literally tells you not to ask your friends when they're free. Why? Because they know if people have time to think, they'll say no. So instead, they push you to pick a time right now and deal with it later. Fast decisions equal less of a chance to back out. Okay. I get what she's saying. You have the recording, blah, blah, blah. And also, it doesn't give your friends a chance to say, hey, You realize this is multi-level marketing, and that is potentially a product-based pyramid scheme. And if your friends get to you early on and early enough in the process, you might back out. So it's not just, oh, we can't coordinate schedules. It might be your friends could talk you out of this opportunity. It could be both. It's not just, oh, we're not going to be able to get everybody on the same schedule. Is that too wild of an option? Because I think it could be that too. Kenley's been in too long to know that it's not just, we can't coordinate schedules, in my opinion.
But hey, be nice, okay? Okay, that's fine. He's okay, baby. He's okay. Okay, so where we at? So we get that grand opening scheduled, and then I just hop off with them. I remind them like, okay, so within that onboarding and launch section, there's also the guideline to invite for a grand opening. Do you remember that? Like, do you remember going through those videos? I'll go ahead and send the guideline in the chat and pin it just so you have easy access to it. But it's a very simple invite. And maybe to refresh your memory, go ahead and go over the, let's go over the invite video in the link tree, just to kind of refresh your memory on that. And I just refer them back to the link tree, y'all, because I'm not going to go over a whole thing for 8 minutes if they can just watch a video on it. And so what I love about the link tree is it just offers and it creates duplication, right? And it also creates just ownership in your own business and being independent in your own business. Yes, we're here for each other. Yes, we are supporting one another, but we can't do it all for every single new partner, even for a brand new partner. If they're only 24 hours in, hey, why don't you go back to that link tree and watch that video again? Like, I'm not here to babysit. Anyone else? We want to create, duplication right out the gate. Now, if you have somebody that's like, honestly, like, I don't think that that's the route that I want to take right now. I'm excited about Happy Juice. I'm excited about experiencing the benefits. I'm excited, to possibly start sharing on social. And I really just want to focus on, getting customers for now. That is so awesome. I'm really excited about that, and I fully respect that. Maybe later on down the road, whenever you start feeling the benefits of Happy Juice, you'll gain that posture and confidence that maybe you yourself need to be able to do a grand opening. And they're usually like, yeah. So keep that in mind for the near future. And until then, let's talk about social media a little bit. I would love for you to, if you need some tips and tricks there, I'm here to help. But really my biggest piece of advice for you, and I stole this from Kelly Wolf, and I think it's amazing, and I always use it on launch calls now, is when you receive your product, I want you, or my best piece of advice for you, is to take your people, your audience, on like a 30-day journey of drinking Happy Juice every day. And if you're open to at least doing that, aside from doing a grand opening, if you're open to at least doing that, maybe just mixing up your Happy Juice on your stories every day, or maybe every other day, and just sharing every day how it makes you feel. That alone is going to help to just expand your outreach. It's going to get the word out. It's going to eventually create curiosity in time through consistency.
Anecdotal behavioral control. What? Hello?
And let's just start there. And maybe after a few days, maybe after a week or so, we'll continue touching base. I'll get you added into our graphics chat. We'll, start plugging into our calls. And what I like to say, stay around the fire, because you'll learn more, you'll absorb more, you'll gain the posture and confidence. And then we can maybe, revisit the idea of a grand opening at a later time. How does that sound? The key to being like that third-party leader, you guys, on a launch call, is to basically stay in control of the conversation, if that makes sense, without being like a dictator. Give ideas, be respectful, be a sponge, listen more than you speak, and that's it. It's really, really, really simple. I think a lot of people overcomplicate launch calls just because it's not like an overview. It's not a front half and a back half. It's not the same slide. It's not the same deck every single launch call. It's very different. So you have to learn to adapt and like truly be like a people person. And for me, 9 years ago, if you saw me as a leader, I mean, it's just, I personally am a complete 180. I am not anywhere near the leader that I wasn't, honestly, when I first started in this business, because I assumed that everyone was going to be like me and put their head down and just freaking run. Not care about emotions, not care about what other people thought, not care about anything other than to, sprint in this business. But I've learned to understand that is the most beautiful part about this business, you guys, is that you can literally create out of this whatever it is that you want.
Oh, really?
And you can feel like fulfilled in so many different ways outside of just a paycheck, right?
Okay, I'm looking up at the John M. Taylor study, and I'm going to pull her off screen. The case for and against multi-level marketing, and I'm going to search percentages. Loss rates are extraordinary, over 99% for all of the MLMs for which I have been able to obtain relevant data. This in itself would not be so bad, except that MLM is promoted as an income opportunity or even as a business opportunity, a misrepresentation in itself. Many look at MLM as a legitimate business model and attempt to single out individual programs as bad actors. However, in chapters 2 through 8, the reader will find compelling evidence for the unfairness of MLM as it is practiced throughout the industry. Loss rates are extraordinary, over 99% for all of the MLMs for which I have been able to obtain relevant data. This in itself would not be so bad, except that it is promoted as an income opportunity or even as a business opportunity or misrepresentation in itself. Why would you want something other than the ability to make money in a multi-level marketing company if that is what was used to bring you in to MLM, other than, hey, the product works and the next step is you can make money doing this? I don't know. I have a lot of questions.
So much more that you can get out of this. And not everybody that you sponsor is going to want what you want out of this, is going to want what you have. And so the key to the launch, and maybe the most difficult part, I guess, is really to open up your heart and listen. Because oftentimes people will make the mistake of like, hey, like, why are you here? What do you want out of this business? And it brings emotion out of them. And they're like, oh, I just want to share the happy juice because it's changed my life and I decided to upgrade and blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, let's get to work. Let's do a grand opening and let's do X, Y, Z. And then they're like, whoa, hold on. Let me wipe my tears. You know what I mean? And so you just have to learn to be a chameleon in this business. We talk, there's like the typical like personality types training, whether it's like the colors or the animals, and the best.
You have to learn to be a chameleon in this business? What?
Thing that we can be as leaders is a chameleon. We have to understand and learn how to adapt. Because if you think that everybody is going to run, that everybody is going to want out of this business what you want, that they're going to build the same way, I promise you right now, you're going to lose them overnight, right? You're going to lose them overnight. How many of us has that happened to? Like, here's my hand. It is up. It is way up. Here's both my hands, right? It's happened to me time and time and time again. So that's, wow, 37 minutes. Hot dang. Okay, so that is really it for the launch call training, I guess, if you will. I hope that y'all got some value out of this. I hope that, I know that at least half of you guys, or maybe
She's not ending it.
A little less than half, are like kind of like toe dipping the idea of doing launch calls for your team. And I'm here to tell you right now that you're fully capable. You're ready. It's just a matter of whether you have that desire and want to step up and step in as a leader yourself. And if you want to grow in that way, one of the things that we always say, that I always say with new partners is like, hey, I would love to see you present eventually. I can see it in you. I can see you doing these things. I can see you eventually being on stage. And I don't tell everybody that. I truly can see it within you. I can see you launching new partners. I can see you leading a team. I can see you doing X, Y, Z. But hey, if that's not something that you want, guess what? You don't have to do any of that. You really don't. You don't have to be in front of the room. You don't have to do all those things. You do not have to. And if you're someone on this call just because you're silver and above, but you don't want to fill those shoes, you don't have to. Okay? You don't have to. So don't feel that pressure.
Really? Don't feel that pressure? If someone doesn't want to recruit yet, that's fine. But is it? She says it's okay to just focus on the products at first, but then quickly adds, once you start feeling better from the product, you'll probably be ready to host your grand opening. That's a soft push. They're still guiding people towards recruiting, just more slowly. Speaking of things that are a little misleading, if we go back to the I'm not here to babysit or saying one thing and meaning another, she said, I'm not here to babysit. Go back to the link tree. Here's the truth. They want people who will follow the system and not ask for help. The vibe is, we gave you the tools, and if you fail, that's on you. It's sold as freedom and flexibility, but the second you need support, crickets. And speaking on the you need to figure out how to run your business by yourself or be independent because we've got better things to do, like earn a commission. That was me filling in the gaps. But basically, duplicate like a tribble in Star Trek. What they really want is obedience. Duplication just means don't question anything, don't think for yourself, just do what your leader did, even if it didn't work. You're not building your dream, you're just repeating their system.
Then you probably should feel a little pressure to step up because your uplines, like you're through chain of solution, you guys, we're getting busy. Momentum's like at an all-time high. And because of that, your partners will not be launched as time efficiently as they should be because we literally don't have the time. And so that duplication needs to happen quickly.
You have time to suck them into multi-level marketing, but you don't have time to help them duplicate. Are you listening to yourself, Kenley?
And how that happens, and this is kind of what I'm going to end on with you guys. And then if you want to stick around, if you guys have any questions, we can close out the recording and we can do a cute Q&A, y'all. We can do a quick Q&A and we can make it cute. I'll try my best. But how you create duplication, or if you're someone that wants to start stepping up, we take you through this process of I do, you watch, I do, you help. You do, I help, you do, I watch. So what that looks like is, let's say Kelly, Wolf, for example, is just like, hey, I'm ready to start doing launch calls. Like, I know that I need to because my team's growing. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. And be like, okay, the next launch call, what I want you to do, I'm going to do the whole thing. Okay. But what I want you to do is like take notes, and I want you to take notes and just really be intentional and listening more, because the next launch call that we do, I'm going to do it, but you're going to help. We're going to tag team. We're going to do it together. And then the next call, okay, you're going to do it and I'm going to help. So what that looks like is Kelly will do most of it, and she'll basically, she'll do most of it. And maybe every now and then she might be like, hey, Kenley, Mrs. Mendoza, do you have anything that you want to add on that? Did I miss anything? Okay, cool. Awesome. Right. And so I'll just kind of like add things and fill in the gaps if I feel it's needed. And then after that, it's like, she's going to do it and I'm going to watch. And I'm going to probably pop some popcorn, before that, and just eat some popcorn while I'm watching Kelly do her thing. But that's how that duplication process starts. Now, most of you guys, every single one of you, actually, and I'm pretty sure this is a fact, have been watching launch calls. So let's skip over the I do, you watch. And if you're ready to step up and step in for your team, start tag teaming with that third party. And then maybe for like the next launch call or two, and then step up. Get her done, y'all. Each and every one of you guys are fully capable. And I'm telling you right now, this team's going to need it because it's experiencing like a record amount of momentum and excitement. And I'm telling you right now, you guys need to start doing your own launch calls. Again, if you feel this is what you want to do. But coming out of Vegas, it's going to be absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And so look at that as kind of the deadline, I guess, if you will, of really getting comfortable with doing these things and figuring out who are those NPOMs, is what we call it, NPOM, next possibility of momentum. Who are those NPOMs that you have right now in your business? That you can start that duplication process with. Okay, where they can start to learn from you. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. This was much longer than I thought it was.
All right, we did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah. So that's the full launch call. And what did we learn? Nothing. I'm just kidding. You're love bombed right after signing up, so you won't quit. They push you to open up emotionally so they can tie your struggles to their solution. They pressure you into recruiting even if you're not ready, and when it comes to actually help, you're on your own. This isn't training, it's a funnel. It's designed to pull people in, use their energy, and leave them burned out. If this video helped you spot some of the tactics MLMs use, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Have you ever been on one of these launch calls? Ever had a friend try to find your why? And if someone you care about is getting pulled into one of these companies, send them to this video. They deserve to know the truth. Thanks for watching, and remember, trust your gut, ask questions, and stay far away from the MLM hype. Remember that we don't drink the Kool-Aid here, we analyze the ingredients. I'll see you next time, and bye!